It's been a rocky road for the pair of these sides in the home and away season, but today we'll see who can step up to the task, with Bunyip hosting Kilcunda-Bass in an 8th v 9th clash. With the faintest chance at finals for Bunyip, they'll hope to surge past the boys from down south, but in their previous matchup, it was Kilcunda-Bass who were victorious by 42 points. Welcome to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round, proudly brought to you by Totally Workwear, with a fresh store in Pakenham that has recently opened. Bailey Allen alongside me today. Welcome, Bailey.
Yeah, thanks, Dill. Great to be out at Bunyip. Definitely better conditions than when we were out here last time when they played Traralgon. Boy, that was a dirty day. It was just raining all day. It was terrible mud all over the ground. So, yeah, much different conditions today. Bright and sunny, and should be great for a game of footy.
Now, a few things to talk about in our pre-game show, but first, just a tip.
Look, they're pretty even, aren't they? Bunyip got the one more win other than Kilcunda, so they've got 6 wins, sitting at 8th. Kilcunda 9th with 5. Probably just going to go Bunyip today, considering they're at home, but this should be a thriller.
And, well, the last time they played, it was actually Kilcunda-Bass who defeated Bunyip on their home turf by 42 points. And the best player, Taylor Gibson, he kicked 9 goals. And the last time we called Kilcunda-Bass, you were absent. But, again, he kicked another bag of 6. Strong mark, even stronger with the kick. And you'll see him today, Bailey.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately wasn't able to catch that game. I think I had a Franks and Blues game to call in NBL 1. But... yeah, I'm excited to see Taylor Gibson. Obviously, Dalston are a bit of a weaker opponent compared to Bunyip, but from what I've heard, very excited to see the man go out and play some amazing footy.
Taylor Gibson kicked 9 in that game, as I mentioned. Marcus Baxter kicked 2, and he's also been one of their more prolific players, but such a potent forward line when they're all working together. And Goalie, the ruckman, and Sorozinski off half-back also managed to hit the scoreboard. Bunyip were able to score through Ashley Allen, Dylan Can. They kicked 2 each, and then Lehman, McLeod, Papley and Williams with 1 each. Now, we mentioned Papley. We also have Waitman on the other team. So the brothers of Cody and Tom in the AFL, and they'll match up today. Do you think directly?
Well, not sure. Well, Jake Waitman, he's a bit of a speedy halfback, and then you've got Papley, who kind of plays a bit of everywhere. We saw in Traralgon that you can chuck him into the middle, he can run right down there. He played down back a little as well, so you can really play him anywhere. But yeah, they're brothers. Definitely 2 of the more controversial figures, you might say, in the AFL. Papley is so famous for his celebrations, and then Cody Waitman. There's always a couple comments about free kicks and whatnot, so...
And undoubtedly someone you'd love on your team, but you'd hate to play against. As finally Kilcunda-Bass out on the ground, which was interesting because Bunyip were out about 5 or 6 minutes ago. And we'll touch on their recent form in a moment. But in that previous clash, in the second quarter, Kilcunda-Bass kicked 9 goals 3 to 1 straight. And I imagine a few of them must have been Gibson.
Yeah, well, like I said, I haven't seen Gibson play yet, but... yeah, 9 goals in a game, it's going to be hard to beat in terms of just performances. Like for the performance of the year, sorry, Dill. I kind of started there, but...
And in their last 5 games, Kilcunda, last week they played Inverloch Conglack, always a tough matchup. They fell by 61 points at home. The week before that, they were at Coralin. They went down by 67 points. The week before that, they fell to Tooradin Delmore by 74. But before that, they were able to beat Daleston on their home floor and beat Garfield in a close matchup by 7 away. So a losing streak of 3, but they did have wins before that.
Yeah, and it's always good to get a win. Well, if you're from Kilcunda, it's always good to get a win over Dalston. The crosstown rivals, very close to each other. I think it's only about 5 minutes down the road, maybe 10 minutes. And then Garfield, yeah, they're yet to win a game and have been pretty poor this season. But yeah, you'd still be looking back on those wins and those performances, and Inverloch, Kongwak and Traralgon, they're not easy sides to beat whatsoever, so you can't be bashing yourself up too much after that.
And Bunyip have been winning sporadically throughout the season. Last week they had to play Traralgon. They fell by 97 points and in fact did not have a goal to half-time, and that'll be a focus point of this week. They beat Corumbarabina away by 81 points in round 14. Round 13 was the game that we broadcasted here. They played Narnagoon. Unfortunately, just couldn't attack the scoreboard, and that was really the talking point of that day, Baz.
Yeah, they were fairly inaccurate that day as well, and it took them a very long time. Oh, no, actually, it didn't take them a long time to get started at all. They kicked the first goal of the game, and then after that, it was just all Narnagoon. They controlled the tempo, slowed the footy right down, and, yeah, Bunyip just failed to actually contain the Goons. So,
yeah. Round 12 against Coralin, only a 15-point defeat. One of the more reputable sides, Coralin, in the competition. Currently in 6th place, just snatching that last final spot. And to make finals, well, Bunyip need to win every game with some percentage, and Coralin need to lose every game. And then in round 11, they defeated Daleston by 51 points.
Yeah, well, Coralin, that's a tough side to rely on to lose because they play such an exciting brand of footy, the Cobras. So I wouldn't be too positive if I was a Bunyip Bulldogs fan, but it's a great sport. You never know what's going to happen in a game of footy, do you?
Absolutely right. So many different variables and scenarios that can happen as we see both sides moving to their positions. Out at Bunyip and just in front of us, Jake Waitman on the wing. He's matching up against Jack Blakey. So not Papley. Maybe Papley's brother, Nick Blakey? No, it wouldn't be. Oh, not brother, but teammate. As we're almost underway here at Bunyip. A Saturday afternoon, 8th v 9th, and on paper, should be a strong clash. Already a bit of tension in the forward line, and the umpire will have to sort that out before we begin.
Well, they are really getting stuck into each other.
Wow, Bailey Allen to get it underway.
So play... there's still a little bit of a bash up down there in the half-forward area. A free kick given away. Bunyip to kick, so enter inside 50 almost immediately intercepted. It was a kick by Chris Thuring. Went a little bit off. And Chris Thuring and his kicking efficiency has been a bit troublesome this year. I've noticed in Narnagoon that he didn't hit a lot of targets, but hopefully he's improved on that in the past couple of weeks. So quick hands through the middle. Pressure's nice by the Bulldogs. Was tapped by Thuring. Needs to hand it off. It does. Gets it out to the wing. Trying to evade the pressure. But it looks like it will get close to the boundary line here. And it eventually does. And a free kick's actually been given away by the Bulldogs. Going back to Kilcunda. Out on the far side of the wing. Mark taken. That one by Dale Crawford. And 50 metre given away, so it's probably a protected area, you think. There could have been some back shot there. I doubt it, though. It was a clean mark. So now Crawford runs off his mark, gives it off by hand, entering inside 50. It's a nice long kick. No mark taken, and we'll go over the goal line for a minor score.
I think it might be a boundary throw in.
Oh, sorry, from where I was, it did look like it went over.
Well, they have added the behind on the scoreboard. Should be rectified. Ball in, not far out from Kilcunda's goal. Tapped down, and now they'll need the Rovers to oblige. Too hot to handle for a moment, and then picked up in the end by Winmar, who's changed his number today, off to his teammate, who sets it up in the forward pocket. And it's a straight. It'll be Bunyip's ball coming back through Paxton. In the left back pocket. And they have fixed the scoreboard, so neither team yet to score. 2 minutes in to the first quarter. Out to the wing. Expected quite a bit from his teammates, and again it trickles out of bounds. So a good start from both teams, Baz.
Yeah, it's just sort of feeling each other out, but it's still been a good 2.5 minutes of footy, Dill.
60 out from Kilcunda's goal. Goalie in the ruck again. Able to paddle it down, and his Rovers can set it forward. A check side from out the pack. It'll have the legs, won't have the accuracy. And it's the first score of the day. Kilcunda 1 Bunyip yet to score on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard.
So Papley will take the kick out from full back, playing with a pink ball today. And some pink socks on it, Bunyip as well. Of course, we were down at Narnagoon last week where they were wearing the pink Guernseys.
Seems to be a theme as of late.
So Papley kicks the ball long towards the broadcast side of the wing, and it was read well.
Clay.
Nice mark taken by Darcy Clay. Little chip kick over to foot. Another inside 50 entry for the Panthers. Ball punch. He can run on here. Snaps it. Looking not so good across the face for a minor score. So Kilcunda have been reading this footy well from... they're setting up behind the ball really well and just reading Bunyip perfectly.
Yep. And they'll all swarm to the one side from full back. Being pressured on the mark. He releases it. Now to the wing region. A big fist at the back. It fell to Waitman, who was able to rove, and then he was momentarily stunned in the tackle. The ball can't escape. And a ball up about 55 out from goal. 4 minutes in now. Some nice clearance and stoppage work, especially from Kilcunda-Bass. Crawford that time. Teammates collided, rather opponents. Another strong tackle and a ball up again. This time a little closer to Killy Bass's goal.
Just looking at Jake Waitman, you cannot tell the difference between him and Cody. Look exactly the same.
And another tap from Gawley. Down to foot. On the left. It's a wide ball into the 50. Mark's been taken. Was it juggled over the line? Umpire says no. And this is Taylor Gibson. Now he's looking to take the unselfish option. Now he'll go the snap. 9 goals against Bunyip in their last outing. And he's been such a major goal kicker for them. That time it's a little too wide and it's through for another minor score. And it's 3 behinds and Bunyip are yet to score.
So here's Papley. Such a lively player. Just like his brother Tom, of course. Former All-Australian for the Sydney Swans. Kicks down to this side of the wing again. It's been a popular hot area. Whistle blown. And a free kick given away by the Panthers. So look to centre it. Spills out the footy. That was Dylan Quirk. Eventually gets it out. Pressure is insane by the Panthers, but they're out now. Quirk kicks it right into the chest of Dylan Galash, who then takes a couple steps back, tries to look for an option. Anyone takes a mark? No, not on this occasion. Kilcunda collect it. Off by hands. Still dangerous here for the Bulldogs, but they compose themselves, the Panthers, and that was some nice backline work. Papley couldn't get to the footy in time to spoil. So now on the other side of the wing, with the footy is Travis Stuckey. And it turns over straight away. So they'll play on here. Low ball. Over to Quirk, who's been active early. Tries to tap it out, gets it out. Thurring, long high kick. Can anyone take a contested mark? And it was Dan Mock who just read it perfectly and let the ball fall right into his arms.
Foot at half back, just lofts the kick. Plenty of airtime, maybe nudged out of it in the end. Was Eddie, and he'll receive the free kick. 6.5 minutes in, and it's still Kilcunda leading this one by 3 behinds. Plenty of players congregating ahead of the footy, but he takes it inboard. And now backtracking out to this side of the wing. Clay will have to camp underneath it, but he dropped the mark. Maybe a little bit of panic and pressure from the Bunyip midfielders. He's still fighting in there, and now a tackle comes across on Thompson by Waitman, and we'll have a ball up. High-intensity gameplay, a high-octane start.
Yeah, and Darcy Clay's been great so far. Just on the wing, his defensive work rate's been excellent.
Crawford. And now the midfielders for Bunyip work in tandem. Grumish, beyond half forward, sails the kick. Strong defence, a host of defenders out at the back. It stays in play. Papley keeps it alive. Active hands underneath, and burrowing in again was Grimish. Out to McLeod, puts it into the leading lanes, just ahead of Galash, who'll still motor onto it. West right on his back, Galash keeps it in. Now he wheels around, centering ball back for Thuring, who's 50 out, and might have a shot from here.
That was some great effort from Bunyip there, just continuing to fight and fight on, and Galash was great there, really composed under some heavy pressure from Kilcunda, and was able to find a nice, easy option in Chris Thuring.
Chris Thuring has had a terrible run of injuries. He's described as a smooth-moving utility with a smooth kicking action. That time it's a little right. Mark claimed and paid in the end. Will be a tough kick, but definitely not beyond Alexander Dykstra. 10th year with the club. To get Bunyip on the board for the first time today, it's low and flat. It was touched on the mark, in fact, and Bunyip opened their account for the day.
So Kilcunda had been showing some good defensive work right until then. Probably could have prevented that mark. Mackenzie, former Frankston Dolphin, kicks it really close to going out in the full there, but a mark taken by Leighton Cartmel. So they go tight along the boundary line again, and it's punched out of bounds. Good read from the Bunyip Bulldog in Jack Blakey, sorry. So,
box seats.
Yeah, right in front. Got that perfect view for you on the cameras. Harrison Carbis as always.
Another ball up. Nearly 10 minutes in, neither team yet to score. Scoreboard probably doesn't reflect the gameplay, Bass.
No, it seems like a rather sloppy game when you look at the scoreboard, but it's been great as Dylan Quirk holding the ball. Wayman gave him a little bit of a push there, but it was a great tackle in the end. Was that 15? Umpire says it will be. Galashan thinks so. Plays on. Kicks it down the line. Should be intercepted, isn't. No mark taken, apparently. Thought Ashton Grenis took quite a clean mark there, but umpire says no. We'll have another stoppage as some more tussle occurs.
Darcy Clay coming off for a spell. Been productive early.
Yeah, he's been great, has been Clay. So ball tapped out by the Ruckmans, brought to ground again. Umpire says my ball.
Still some tensions behind play.
Yeah, certainly
fiery start.
A lot of emotion, yeah.
Goalie trying to free up the arms, but he couldn't. He was engulfed by the tackle from Hadrick, who will have a quick assessment of what's ahead. Leads being made from every angle. He takes it wide to the wing. A 2-on-2 in the air. Broken up by the defence. Again, they'll have to straddle the line. Foot does. Not for too long. Another throw in.
Brendan Thompson with the navy blue helmet. Great tackle laid there.
High throw in. Goalie had to adapt in the air, but it falls to the rover of Blakey, who again looks inside 50. Lowered the eyes. It fell straight in the lap of the forward line. McLeod now has a chance, tracking it down. Right on his back was Stuckey, who did extremely well until he was dispossessed. And it'll be a shot at goal for Bunyip, who can get on the board for the first time with a major.
What a great game we've had so far, Dill. I reckon this is probably... I know we haven't been commentating this league for too long, but this has probably been the best start we've seen yet.
Definitely one of, and it'll be Curtis Jenkin, who actually coaches the reserves, but he'll look to coach them to a win today. The first goal for Bunyip on the board. And it's 1-1-7 to 3 behinds on the Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard.
So Bunyip strike first. It's been really even footy. Kilcunda have worked hard, but Bunyip and their forwards have been great with applying some forward pressure when Kilcunda received the footy. So great start for the Doggies. And now the Panthers need to act on it. 0-3. Yet to score a major as we're 12 and a half minutes into this contest.
Definitely an arm wrestle.
Yeah, it's like I said before, it's been one of the better starts we've seen this year. Thurring, he's had a pretty good game so far. Tries to get it to a teammate. Oh, shrugs off the tackle. That was really clever. How's the agility? Pushes off the ball was Thompson. Now running after it. Wrapped up. Could have been holding the man. Now they run here. Kilcunda receives it was Grenis. And then Dario nearly turned it over but dropped the mark. And now Bunyip can go through the middle. And it's picked off well by Gawley. It was a Stingray in 2013. Played in the grand final for them. Back in when it was known as the TAC Cup. Oh, heavy knock there. And that will be a block. Very clear free kick for Leighton Cartmel. They'll play on. Inaccurate kick. Can they keep it inside Kilcunda? They will. Going inside 50. Looks to centre it. Or is that going to go all the way? No, across the face. But awfully close. So Papley starting already. Catching Kilcunda off guard almost. Thurring. It's been great so far. Gives it off to Papley, who runs, who sells the candy, isn't taken down, goes through the middle, off by hands, almost a Sam Draper-esque goal there. Kicks it inside 50, a mark taken by Sam Grumish. What a sequence by the Doggies. Popcorn in our hands. And here is Grumish with a set shot. Gave us a wave down here, Dylan and myself, when he was on the bench. Looking for number 1. And ball drop was just a little awkward and won't go through in the end.
1-2-8 plays just the 4 behinds for Kilcunda-Bass. Have to capitalise on the scoreboard. No room for error. In perfect conditions. So no excuse to miss those set shots. Outlets being assessed. That's a perfect ball. Foot just dropped in the end. The danger was enough to affect it, but he brushes off a couple of tackles. And now back to the run of Gawley, who indulges in a bounce and spent it. Coughed it up. Bunyip out in relay. A strong tackle laid and a throw. It'll be a free kick going the way of Thomas West, who makes amends at right half back. Using his teammate as a reference. Jog along the wing. It's Foot again, who's able to reposition himself. Took some time, delayed the give, and then measured one across. Methodical approach this time. Only Bunyip players in sight that time. It dropped mark, and now it's disentangled. We should have another ball up at half forward. Over 15 and a half minutes in. A 50-50 sort of game. No real dominance, but brilliant football overall.
Yeah, I'd still say Bunyip probably have the advantage at the moment. Kilcunda really need a goal just to get it back. Like, definitely 50-50.
Shrugging off a tackle, Sorozinski, and now deep engagement. Now a mark's been taken, and a whistle was called. They'll pay advantage, and Taylor Gibson able to rope it in. And he'll hope to kick Kilcunda-Bass's first goal. His 7th year with the club. Played for Warragul, South Croydon. He's been everywhere, but now he's solidified a spot in Kilcunda-Bass. And they're very appreciative of that. And he rewards them with their first goal of the day. Kilcunda-Bass take the lead. It's 1-4-10 to 1-2-8 on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard.
And for halfway through the first quarter, how important was that kick? In the context of this game, where it's been such high pressure footy, that kick was ultra important just to give Kilcunda that little boost. And they now lead by 2 over the Bunyip Bulldogs, who have also played a terrific game so far in one of the best starts we've seen. As the pink ball's fumbled there by the umpire. Just drops it there. So in the ruck for Bunyip is Hadrick against Dale Gawley, the talented Dale Gawley, I might add. Picked up by Quirk, just chucks it on the boots. No contested mark taken. Kilcunda looking to exit early, but the ball will go to the ground. Stacks on. Taking a lot of time to get it out. Could have been a stoppage, but now they run out. It's the Panthers. Shrugs off. Loses his footing. Needs to get rid of it. Does, but it's a turnover. Now they can re-enter inside 50. Looks to centre it. Galash sprinting for it. Here's a chase. Loses it. Now Kilcunda can go. Watson. Down to West. Big kick down the line. No mark taken. Here's Gibson. Off by hands. They remain inside 50 looking to get a mark. Nothing can be taken though. Trying to evade. Holding the ball. And had plenty of time to get rid of it. But took far too long. So it goes down to the far side of the wing and out of bounds. As it was Grummish who couldn't keep it in play, but what an entertaining start we've had.
Under 19 minutes in. First quarter, only 2 goals kicked, and goalie hoping to add another for Kilcunda-Bass. It's a wide kick. Papley has his say.
Papley's been great down back so far. It's been making life difficult for these Panthers players.
Just keeping tabs on everyone, really. And he does have that stamina in him to remain alongside them, prevent them from scoring. He'll look to again here. Gibson was loitering. Another dispute. Operations put to a halt. Nearly into time on in the first quarter. Nothing but entertaining. Kilcunda-Bass by 2. Goalie floating high. The defence, they'll hope to show a clean pair of heels out of here, and they do through Paxton. And a free kick being pinned out. It'll go the way of Galash.
Galash has been active early as well. Now, down the other end of the ground has been lively up forward, however.
Plenty of players moving around. Coming up to the footy is Jenkin. He heads that way, a little beyond him. Kilcunda-Bass players had the sit. Down to Clay. He'll backtrack with the hand pass. Watson whirling onto the right. Here is Gibson. Can't quite mark it that time, but he ducks under. Puts it inside 50. It'll have to bounce for Watson. It did. He spins on the right. He gains a little bit of separation. Goes the check side. And it's almost marked by Baxter. Still in play. McKenzie turns around. It's a high snap. Didn't quite have the carry right on the goal line. And there is the goal. It was lurking. They were thereabouts. And Kilcunda-Bass get their second of the day.
There are a lot of jumpers in there. Did we see who got it? I think it might have been Will Speed. Oh, no, he's on the bench.
It was number 44 now. Here's the thing. We don't have a number 44 on the team sheets, but Ethan Watts previously wore number 44.
Well,
so we will chase that up.
We'll have to get that at quarter time. What a great goal, though. Probably goal of the day so far in early on in what's been a great contest between 8th versus 9th. Shaping up as a terrific game of footy. And almost exactly in the same spot. Another ball up. So Hadrick in the ruck again. Going against Gawley. Hits the ground again. Waitman's kick is smothered. They're out again here, the Bulldogs. Out of half forward. Maybe he was held a little bit. Nothing was caught now. Just gets into him. Pushing the back. From going against Brendan Thompson. So Mock. Little kick. Looking to get in front. Is that a clean mark? Jeez. Interesting call, but Ryan Quirk takes it cleanly apparently. Then turns around and turns it over. It was a poor kick from Xavier Kinder. Now moving across half back to the wing. Ball won't hit a target. Papley always lurking. Such an aggressive sort of player. So Thuring, his work rate today has been excellent. Would probably be in the votes. So now moving across to the other side. So Paxton back with Bunyip after a coaching stint last year. Enters inside 50. Drumish turns around. Off by hands. Can they keep it in? No, not on this occasion. It'll be taken over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Yep, need to yield something here. Bunyip, 23 minutes into the first quarter. They trail it by 8. Double the score. Kilcunda-Bass. And again they wrestle. Driven into the turf. Another ball up. Seconds continue to roll. Wouldn't be too much time on, you'd think. It's been an active gameplay sort of day. Sorozinski in head first. Keeping tabs on Blakey. Crowd sent into a hush at the moment. Goalie. Waitman crashing the pack. Taken high. They'll receive it. And a 50-metre is given as well. Was it a contentious decision? Doesn't matter as Waitman paces forward on the wing. We'll survey ahead. Gibson on short, but he chips to Goalie, who has room to manoeuvre, and he just winds up on the left, tosses it up in the air, says catch. Needs someone to pay attention. Gibson almost brought it down. Waitman also there. Spills out again. Taken high. Crawford. And from 50 out, he'll elect to have a shot. Goalie maybe bypassing. In fact, it is Watts. We'll have to review the number 44 at quarter time as we edge on 25 minutes gone in the first quarter. Bunyip were able to kick the first. Kilcunda-Bass have replied with 2. One of them being this man who just kicked the previous one. He'll run off his line. It's a good set shot. It just fades to the left. And again, inaccuracy continues. 2-5-17 to 1-2-8.
It's important to note there is the slightest of breeze going towards the left. So Paxton, long kick. Will it be accurate though? No. However, Mark couldn't be taken out on the wing. Turns around again. Fast footy been playing by the Bulldogs as always. Grumish took a strong lead. Gives it off by hand. Enters inside 50 again. Then Galash with the bleached blonde hair. Let out in front of the footy nicely.
Matt Guelphy type.
Yes.
Rory Lobb at the moment.
Yeah, Matt Guelphy, Rory Lobb, take your pick. I take Matt Guelphy. He's a bomber. We all know I'm a Dons fan. So, on the siren for Galash. Can he give his side a bit of momentum going into this second term? Very tough angle. Does he finish? Oh my God, he does, Galash. What a set shot. A great drop punt taken by Dylan Galash. And Kinder gets around him as well. So does the entire team, and that's exactly what you need going into the second term of footy.
What a kick, and that might be a contender for our Fused by King G goal of the day. An interesting first quarter. It's 2 goals apiece. Kilcunda-Bass with 3 more scoring shots, and they only lead it by 3 at quarter time. We will figure out who that number 44 is, the mystery player, and both sides will reassess, regather, regroup, and head out for that second quarter. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you here at Bunyip.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm burning up. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm burning up. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
1 quarter down, and wasn't it entertaining? It's Kilcunda-Bass who lead it by 3 behinds, 2-5-17 to 2-2-14 on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboards. Now we have figured out that number 44, and it's Yilba Zajai. Very talented, very skilled, as you can see on display. He kicked the 1 goal. He also kicked the behind. But some fair distance on that kick, Bailey Allen. Still here, and we'll have a quick look around the grounds. Kui Rupp defeating Warragul Industrials at the moment, 4-5-29 to 2-2-14.
Yeah, well, Kui Rupp, they've moved up a couple spots in the past couple of weeks, and Warragul, they're coming off a tough loss against Narnagoon last week, and they probably will make finals, the Dusties, but...
Now, as you mentioned that, the implications, if they lose today, Kui Rupp will be a game within of the Dusties, 7th and 6th. So this would be a major strike for Kui Rupp, who at the moment lead it by 15. That'll be at quarter time as well. Back to the action here. Kilcunda-Bass by 3 points. Early goals for Yilba Sajai and Taylor Gibson. And for Bunyip, Curtis Jenkins was able to get on the board. And then at the end of the quarter, Dylan Galash from one of the toughest angles, the Jamie Elliott pocket, as you could say. Sorry, Baz. Second quarter.
Just had to remind me.
Nearly underway. And Gawley will be in the ruck again. He lost that tap out. Crawford still fighting hard. Chiseled the kick forward to good effect and pushed in the back. It'll be Bunyip's free kick. They expedite movement, chaining up the handballs, and it's a wobbly kick forward, demanding a lot from his teammate, who was captured. And another ball up at half forward. And as opposed to previous weeks, ball movement is definitely not stagnant. Gawley wrapped up in the tackle again, his teammate Sorozinski, who's moved up from halfback. And Gawley again. This time to the advantage of Mackenzie, who looks to elude a couple. Maybe pushed in the back. No, it's holding the ball. And Bunyip with the early entry. A minute into the second quarter. It's mix and match at the moment. Attempting to find a target forward. They will here. Dereo at the fly, but from the back, nearly a major clunk. Used his opponent as a step ladder there. Couldn't quite rake it in. And we'll have a ball up about 20 metres out from Bunyip's goal.
Wow, what a leap we just saw there. Ball taps around. Kilcunda trying desperately to get out. Now here's Thuring, who had a really good first term. Takes over the boundary line for the safe option. So, a minute 40 in. Sits in Bunyip's forward half at the moment. Gawley, or Gawley I should say, gets it out, spins around, dribbles it with a handball. That was clever from foot. And goes out of bounds. Umpire says to throw it in after some cries from the Bunyip for deliberate.
Now Waitman seems to be playing that spare man role in defence.
Just hanging on to his man there. High ball, whistle blown. And it'll be going the way of Kilcunda. But yes, Waitman just sitting on Kinder, I believe that is.
That's another 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, I was just going to say, another 50-metre penalty. There's been a few today. Yep. So, in a high-emotion game like this, it's very close as well. Lots of drama going on here early down at Bunyip. What a big kick inside 50. Here's Gibson! Stood tall and shrugged his two opponents off him for a great mark. Gibson is probably been Kilcunda's best. It's just been very active down forward.
And it's the fact that we haven't even mentioned Marcus Baxter's name today.
Yeah, he hasn't got a lot of the footy, has Baxter, but here is Gibson. He kicked 9 against Dalston, as we mentioned earlier on in the year. Set shot, 40 outs, sprays it right.
Plenty of purchase on it.
Yeah, it was a big kick, but yeah, it was interesting to go that far right, considering the breeze has been eliminated now.
And Bunyip from full back. It'll be William Papley scampering away. Doesn't allow the defence to reach him. Big fly and a strong mark in the end by Lachlan Petch. Definitely a contender for our King G Trade Comfort Max mark of the day. To the wing. A band forms, Galash and Hadrick on the end of it. Has Allen on short. Wouldn't have been 15, but he might use him with the handball, and he does. And they don't want to they don't want this to be too messy. Waitman intervenes as Mackenzie is close protection. A one-on-one at the wing. Front position with Winmar. Kept it in play. Is still restrained. quirk on his back. They were playing for high or holding. Didn't receive it in the end. Centre wing. 4.5 minutes in. It's been a wonderful display of football today. Perfect conditions, not a cloud in sight. Gawley. Loping after it was Crawford and escorting it out of bounds. Jack Blakey. Some rotations being made. Halmore will have a spell. Now winding up for the throw-in. It's a long throw-in. Maybe too far back for Gawley and Hadrick. And gathering it under their control. Bunyip midfielders, Galash. Just bounced in front of him. He turns on the right, gives it a fair heave. And it'll be cut off in the end at half-back by Mock. Numerous networks to select from. He can backtrack if he needs. Instead he goes for territory. Waitman didn't want to obstruct Watts, who takes the mark. Looks back into the field of play. Winmar wasn't prepared. It didn't matter because Gibson received the free kick, and now they move on forward. He'll take the wide option in the pocket. Strong lead by Baxter. Better defence in the end.
Not sure if that was the right choice. Winmar had a lot of space right in front of goal, but you're not going to get everything right. So boundary throw in. Kilcunda have just entered inside 50. You're joining us. Tapped out by Watts. Trying to snap around the corner, couldn't. Watts got the footy again. Now here's Papley. He's been great today. Punched out. Now they can move again through McKenzie, who turns it over. Not quite. Ball goes to the floor. Knocked was Gawley, who just sends a high one. Somehow stayed in bound. Gibson tried to collect it and then run forward and was tackled almost immediately.
Free kick, but that ball might have hit...
Oh, was it?
That ball might have hit space.
Free kick, jeez, all right. I didn't see the signal, my mistake, but here is Gibson taking a set shot almost exactly from where Dylan Galash took his. Never mind, he'll kick it. And that's straight to the man in Gilbert.
Zajai,
sorry. Just had to make sure I was pronouncing that one correctly. So Wilbur Zajai is a former Sandringham Dragon. Former Sandringham Zebra as well. Played a bit of VFL for the Frankston Dolphins as well. Slight angle, about 40 outs. Hits it. Straight onto the laces. And that's a great kick from Zajai.
Second of the day for Yilba Zajai. And now the accuracy comes into play. 3 goals, 6 to 2-2. 5 more scoring shots, only up 10. And out at Bunyip, the home crowd, with momentum, could pack some pain on the scoreboard, but it's a goal that Kilcunda-Bass will be happy to see. Undoubtedly. Jake Waitman back on the wing against Thuring. Quite the distance between them.
Yeah, no defensive mindset at all.
8 minutes into the second quarter. Gawley able to paddle it down. Necessary intervention by the Bunyip midfielders who played for the free kick and now off the runway. McKenzie to full forward. Baxter played a bit of a defensive role in the end, as did O'Halloran. We'll have to keep it in play for it to be sufficient intent. And it's not. It's a free kick going the way of Kilcunda-Bass. So still leads being offered. He's tucked right in the pocket is Taylor Gibson. Already kicked the 1 goal today. 2 behinds as well. But he'll go with this new age snap. And he bends it back to perfection. And Kilcunda-Bass open up a 16-point lead. Taylor Gibson with 2 against his name.
And if you're Bunyip, you just need to take more account for that, man. He's been far too good in this second quarter, and they need to start holding him accountable. Far too easy for Taylor Gibson, who is a man of many talents.
they've organised their attacks around him today.
Yeah. And it's really, every ball inside 50 is going towards him, so it's pretty easy to read. Well, it should be easy to read if the defence of the Doggies, they just need to start acting on it almost immediately, otherwise he will continue to have his way. Also, another clearance. Papley couldn't get there in time. Gibson falls to the ground. Papley got it back. Finds Galash. Down a half back. Takes a couple steps back. Gives the ball a nice kick. Was almost marked by teammates. But Kilcunda regained possession. Now goes on a run. The athletic ruckman in Gawley. Off by hands to Mackenzie, who then a long spear kick and just had to sit there in defence. Was the Bulldog. Waitman running out in front of Thuring. Thuring now has the advantage. Waitman had the extra run though. Did he fall on top of it? No, umpire says give the footy back.
Already 10.5 minutes into this second quarter. 2 goals apiece for Gibson and Sajai, for Kilcunda-Bass, and Galash Jenkin with goals for Bunyip. Another scrap, another tackle, and another whistle holding the ball. Now it's Bunyip's chance. Emanating from their defensive work, and they play it through the centre now. Galash had to alter his approach. He was going to Shepherd. Instead, he went for ball. Flowing forward, Kinder has a multitude of players to select from. One of them was Murphy, bashed out of the air. Closer to the boundary line it goes. They shuffle the hand passes. Deep in defence, Clay. Bit of an unorthodox kick on the left, but it works for Foot, who spins around. Backtracking for Clay again, this time from a standing start. And gobbling it up, the defence for Bunyip, which transforms into offence. And again into defence, as the mark is taken in the last line of defence. Goalie now. With full acceleration, checks his kick. Papley went for ball. Strong contest in the air. Hand pass fed through by Grannis, who we haven't seen too much of today. Papley buried into the turf, and it's holding the ball.
Oh, I don't know about that decision. He got him very high there, I reckon.
Numbers out on the wing. Mackenzie didn't need to panic. Stayed calm, took the mark. Watt's making his case. And he's called to play on, so he gave it back to Gawley. Well, he would have, but there was a strong fist in the air. And the Bunyip defence again on Mackenzie. They clamour all over him. A check side sent forward by Cartmel. Scaling the pack. Kinder kept it alive. And he was illegally tackled, taken high.
Kinder's been great in the second quarter. It's been almost flawless.
Looks out to the wing again. A searing ball, which didn't stay in play for Paxton.
Commentator's curse.
Mackenzie to repel. Kilcunda-Bass with numbers outside 50. The most substantial target is Gibson. He heads that way. Just behind him, almost able to reel it in. And now it's snaffled by Sajai, who dribbles it home. No, he doesn't. Touched on the line.
Almost pulled off a Trent Armour. Last quarter heroics from that man last week against Nana Goon was my goal of the goal of the day, I think. And once again, Allen slips over. Inside 50 once again, re-entering, tries to chase after it, but loses control, shrugs off one, gives it off by hand. Mackenzie gonna have to avoid, does, low ball, oh no. Almost for Zajai, but Kinder was the smarter player in that instance.
He'll come back.
And turns it right over again, back-to-back turnovers for Kinder. Gawley sends it, going off to the left, a mark's gonna need to be taken, but not by the Bulldogs if you're a Panthers fan. As it's intercepted nicely by Keith. So just slowing down the tempo now. Kicks it. Galash is in front. Now they can move here, the Dogs. A goal is needed desperately to keep this a close one. Here's Grummish. Little man just trying to push through and evade all the traffic. Players just stacking on again. Panthers read the turnover and going down the wing again, but ends right back up with Bunyip. Paxton screaming to centre it. Won't receive it though. Just a short kick to Allen, who assesses his options. Plays on there and, hard knock there. I believe that's Kinder out there, on the far side of the wing. He takes his time as well, just trying to play some methodical football here, the Bulldogs. Allen plays on, off by hands, running, centres the footy in the forward 50. Gooley almost took a contested grab. And a free kick going against Bunyip. Umpire said Gooley was blocked. Now the Panthers can move. That's a risky kick. Just kept in play after some good run by Foot, who chips it across. Back out to the boundary line. They're in trouble here. Paxton lurking. It's a dangerous tackle, so advantage would be played. Foot down the line, looking for his teammate. That was a great leap from the Bulldog, but wasn't good enough. Speed with the left. Hits a defender. And both teams have been good at moving towards their forward lines, but have just been a bit sloppy entering. Allen right through the middle. Leaped up was Taj Murphy. Oh no, Mackenzie was there. Some great defensive work once again. Mackenzie has been busy today. Now on the wing is Crawford, who's going to be tackled. There should be a stoppage, and it will be. And as we're looking here, looks like Paxton seems to be a bit dazed.
A little sour.
Not sure what
Kind of
happened
second
there.
best, I think.
Yeah.
Out of the ruck again. Bunyip with the clearance. Thurring, wide handball, and seeds it out in the path of Sproles, who bends one forward. Again, they chop it off. Mock to half-back. Goalie. Possession after possession for Goalie. Just miscued that kick slightly for Dureo. His opponent bottled it up. McLeod, chipping ball. And it works in the end. About 70 out from goal. Need to respond to Bunyip. 17 minutes in. Bounced obligingly for Galash, who gave it to his teammate, who gave it a hurl and missed off to the right.
So Bunyip have probably been the better team the past couple minutes. Just need to hit that scoreboard. They've been a bit sloppy, I should say, not sloppery. That's combining two words. Been a bit sloppy entering inside 50.
Mock. And now Clay on the right. Goalie making his claim. Have to manufacture something here. Couldn't. And we'll have a ball up, or is it a free kick? Verdict is a ball up. Waitman waiting around this pack. Goalie didn't get the bigger chunk of it. Now Waitman slammed into the turf, taken high. And they play on. Advancing to the wing. Slipping down, Gibson, who was beaten out of it. A big hip and shoulder, and he's still down. Gibson slowly back up on his feet, and the footy just came right back to him. An appetite for it at the moment. Baxter with body use. Able to mark. And he plays on, drills it to the square. It might be shepherded through. And it's a point, which is quite interesting because
It was punched out.
It was punched back into play.
Well, maybe...
And it would have had to go the full way over, which would have been a goal. Anyway, we continue. McLeod with footwork. Eludes the pressure of Winmar. Out to the wing. And thrusting himself at the footy. Able to take the mark. Off to Allen. Through the middle. This time Allen of the Ashley variety. Who will give it back to Jenkin. Loads up. Needs a mark. Did get one. Not from his teammate.
That's what I'm talking about. Far too easy. Out on the wing. You're looking at Dale Crawford, who chips it. to his teammate in Mock. Just slowing down here, the Panthers. Back over across to Crawford. Just sitting, waiting patiently. Kick down the line. Gawley. Papley wanted to leap up. Could have knocked his teammate in the head. Wrapped up in the tackle of the Bulldogs. But here's Papley, who's so fast and so quick. Murphy sends it. Mark taken by Crawford. That was Gray under pressure. Now going across is Clay. Glash is there. Was composed and found West on the wing, who then pushes it across and intercepted again by Thompson. He's played a good game today for the Bulldogs. Now back over to Galash with the bleached hair, as we mentioned before. Kick sets, knocked out of bounds.
Just playing at Kilcunda-Bass's tempo here at the moment, Bunyip.
Yeah. Shouldn't try to match it, just need to separate from their opponents a bit more and get that run going through the middle through Papley. That's when they play some really exciting footy, the Bulldogs.
Well, Papley's just come off for a spell. They'll need to rely on someone else, and they may for a moment. Allen, the handball off to another teammate, right to the goal mouth. And Eddie, the last line of defence, takes the mark. An unkind bounce. Opponents chasing from behind, but they won't reach Cartmel. In the vicinity, Grennis, Gibson as well. And there he is, already making an impact right on cue. Baxter, in fact.
Moved with the ball perfectly there, Cartmel. It was hard to read. The ball was just bouncing everywhere, but Cartmel read the ball like a book.
Centre wing in front of the Max Papley Pavilion. Gawley takes it out of the ruck himself, unimpeded. Swings onto the right, and it's pinpoint ball for his teammates. At centre half forward, calls for someone to come at him. Baxter teetering between the goal square and making a lead. He's out of the frame, almost in the frame. Was Grennis, but they clear the zone. To Bunyip. Juggled in the end by Blakey and then slung to the ground. And we'll have a ball up as again, tensions flare. Need to control this.
That was a really dangerous tackle. Whoever laid it, I didn't catch who it was.
Crawford, I believe. And he's still receiving.
Well, slung him right to the ground. So
attention.
Can understand why Bunyip would be a bit angry with that.
Gawley at the front and back position gained by Hadrick. He's hoping to create something. Locked away and a ball up. 22 and a half minutes in. And it's Kilcunda-Bass by 17 points. 4-8 to 2-3, 7 more scoring shots. Again, Radek. Waitman either kicked it out in the full or probably insufficient intent. Nathan Allen to resume and bring it back in. Analysing ahead. To the wing. And emerging out of there nearly with the footy stuck. His opponent carved his way through. He was dispossessed. It's taken away by Eddie to centre half forward. And just doing enough, the defence for Bunyip. Making his way through on the left with the long sleeve jersey, interestingly enough, in the glaring sun. Quirk to centre half forward, this time for the Dogs. Murphy now had a split second to set it up, and it's over the head of Galash. Stays on the ground, hacked off the deck. Eddie again enters the scene, leaves it with the footy. DeReo.
Eddie's probably one of the reasons why Bunyip haven't been able to get any closer in the past couple of minutes. He's been huge.
Gawley again. Out in front of Grennis, who did enough and still pressure being applied. O'Halloran taken to ground. Can't quite engineer anything out of there. The whistle blown in the end. And there is the siren. A shorter quarter.
23 minutes.
Only 23 minutes and 50 seconds, and it was played at Kilcunda-Bass's speed. They kicked 2 goals one for Yilbaz Ajay, one for Taylor Gibson, who are the goal scorers for Kilcunda-Bass with 2 each. Bunyip still with 2 goals against their name, one for Glash and one for Jenkin, both in the first quarter. It's half-time here at Bunyip, and the home side trail it by 17 points. We'll take a break, as will the players, and we'll resume for the second half. Can Bunyip get on top, or can Kilcunda-Bass continue their ways? They lead it by 17 on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Halfway through this game out here at Bunyip, it is Kilcunda-Bass leading it by 17 points. An eventful first half. Just the 6 goals kicked, but plenty of action and precaution taken at half-time with Marcus Baxter's jersey, which was apparently ripped. We heard from the manager himself, so he will be wearing number 37 for this half.
Yeah, there was a lot of tussle and a lot of shoving and grabbing that first half, so not surprised that he's had to change the jumper. I also saw Nathan Allen for the Bulldogs was receiving treatment. I'm not sure what on, but he was down in the rooms and was getting looked at by the doctors. So,
well, he looked to be labouring his. It was kind of the shoulder forearm area as he walked off. Not sure the significance of the injury yet. We will try to find out.
Well, she had a tissue, and it was almost like she was wiping away blood, but I'm not sure. He was definitely receiving attention, but not sure exactly what on.
Brendan Thompson doing some last-minute stretches. And Bunyip, they would have had a major speech at half-time. They're only 17 points down, and to be honest, it could be either way, really. Bunyip, as you mentioned, their attacks were well formed, but they tend to just kick it to the defence exactly where they were positioned. And in this second half, that will be under the scope as it resumes now. Gawley in the ruck, and it's punched away. Gawley again, he'll hunt it down, managed to get a hand pass away. Foot at the back, Waitman as nearby support. Foot was met in a glorious tackle, which saw it being holding the ball.
So didn't have a lot of opportunity to get rid of it after a great tackle on Nathan Foot. So now,
and there is the blood rule.
Who's going off? It is a Bulldog. Trying to get a look at who that is.
And this is the shot at goal they'll need. And does he know? They'll have to go through the interchange bench here. Almost out of bounds. They were stressing for a moment. Has to go through the gates, of course. And does. Obviously was focused on getting it fixed up. Jeb McLeod.
So, set shot. About 45 out, pretty much directly in front for the Bulldogs. This would be a brilliant start. But not quite. Goes across the right on the kick by Ashley Allen.
Full back. Mock. And again, in fact, it's Watson. Just his second or third possession for the day. Waitman with another, and he goes with the non-preferred left. Out to the opposite side wing. Just perusing the field ahead of him at the moment. He'll wind up, and two teammates barreled into each other, Gibson and Watts. They both had a major chunk of the football. No one could bring it down. And now numbers through the middle for the Bulldogs. Grumish with a short little chip into Allen's lap. Swiped away to full forward now, almost. One grab, two grab, hand pass over the top. And the first goal of the half will be kicked by Taj Murphy. Bunyip closed the gap to 11. It's 3-3 to 4-8.
How much better was that? The inside 50 entry wasn't on point, but they just had the numbers that time and fought really hard for the footy. That is what we need to see from Bunyip if they had to stay in this game. Great job from the forward line for Bunyip.
And now it is a 10-point margin. At the ground it says 11. We're just waiting to see if they do put that point on the board, which was kicked by Ashley Allen. But we have a game at Bunyip. 8th versus 9th. Bunyip attempting to keep their faint finals hopes alive. Breaking the shackles. Lofting the kick high. Allen. Get his own ball. Escaping with the hand pass. Wasn't cut off. Gallish. They have reinforcements. Allen. And centering it to Papley, who's off. He darts inside 50, needs a lead, gets it, Gawley rose. In fact, it was Dureo, but an open look at goal, just needs to make the angles work. And it's 2 in the blink of an eye. For Bunyip, Jack Blakey on the board. It is a 4-point game, Baz.
What intensity we've got now. Kilcunda are shocked. An absolute blinder of a start for Bunyip. And there's still a bit of scoreboard confusion there. It does sit as 27 for Bunyip. And we'll hopefully be able to change that on the scoreboard quickly, because Bunyip actually do sit at 28. So currently it is a 4-point lead for Kilcunda. Another goal for the Bunyip Bulldogs would put them in front. Another inside 50 entry. Allen, ball stopped at his feet. Kilcunda. Much better work from the back line on this occasion. The kick was smothered though. Running through was Foot, who's been great today, along the wing. What a slam by Ryan Quirk. He's given away a free kick, unfortunately. And the scoreboard has been updated now at Bunyip. So long kick. No mark taken. Bunyip fighting really hard. Look at the momentum they've got. Right over to Taj Murphy, who sits right next to the boundary line. Red, white and blue jumpers streaming towards the forward line, but a costly kick there. Right back over to Cartmel. Now over to Foot, who just patiently waits. It's been a horror start for Kilcunda in this second half. Who's going to win the footy? This time it was Nathan Allen of the Bulldogs. Had more intent, and Kilcunda wanted the free kick for holding the ball, but umpire says no. Have a stoppage and a ball up. So it's Gawley in the ruck. Taps out. Here's Papley. Quick. Look at the foot speed. That's a rush kick, though. Oh, no. Went too far out in front. Waitman here to save the day, however, and kicks it across the wing. A mark taken at centre wing. This one by Dario. Eddie couldn't get there in time. Papley, the smaller man, got to it. And that would be a high tackle. So now Eddie plays on. Right over his man was a poor kick. Now here's Gibson. Shrugs him off. Has he hit that with 2 players on him? He hasn't. And it's now a 5-point lead for the Panthers. So that was a bit better from Kilcunda. Much more composed with the contested footy. But Bunyip, you cannot fault their pressure in this first 5 minutes. So kicked out from full back by Keith. And then they just wait here. Papley, always great, and turns it over. It'll be a free kick, actually, going to Kilcunda. So a costly kick there. They play on the Panthers. Off by hands. Now entering inside 50. Leading. Watts couldn't mark it. Dario almost got it. And once again, another stoppage.
Quick out the gates, Bunyip, 2 goals. And Kilcunda-Bass are a little stunned at the moment. They'll hope to reply here. A ball up ensues, the previous ball up. We'll have another one. Whatever they said at half-time has previously worked, and it has again today. Foot taken high. It's just undisciplined acts like those that they need to remove. Goalie again on the left. Flicks it forward. It's a wide ball and it's marked. Good representation for the Bulldogs down back. Need to decamp out of this back line. It's been tucked away there for the last minutes. A flying fist from Kinder on the barrier. Another ball up, approaching 7 minutes. A tight contest. The tightest we've seen for a little while. The last time they played, it was 42 points the way of Kilcunda-Bass. But they're gallant today, the Bulldogs. A high up and under to the wing. Even numbers. Beaten up in the air. Foot had a voice which was appealing, but he instead turned it over. Missed the target of Terreo. Papley called to go. Squares it up for Allen. Ashley Allen. One-on-one contests being built everywhere, but he fakes out. Goalie on the mark. Pokes it inside 50. Snapping it up was Mock, and he's taken to ground illegally. Advantage not paid. It'll come back. Daniel Mock. Over to goalie. It's repositioned. Ravenous for the footy today is Dale Goalie as he stands, considers, and then heads back to Eddie, who has to make do with 2 to contend with. One of the more significant was Papley, who lays a strong tackle. And another ball up. 35 out from Bunyip's goal. And a major would give them the lead here, which they haven't seen since the opening quarter. McKenzie attempting to make his way out. Stopped in his tracks. McLeod backwards, dispossessed. Wasn't paid holding the ball, maybe because he did receive it and in the same action lost it. And right on the boulevard of 50. We'll do it all again. Goalie to fly. As did Hadrick. Dureo. Linking up by hand. Clay on the left. Fortuitously fell in the hands of McKenzie, who dives at ground level. And the umpire will pay holding the ball here. And it'll be Bunyip's turn again. Papley. Everyone told to clear out. Over 9 minutes in, 5-point game. The home crowd are back up on their feet. Just need to construct another coherent attack here. Do the Bulldogs rising from every angle. And they're desperate still. Eddie. And it wasn't the perfect hand pass. And he's making his case, Benjamin Eddie. But it will be a free kick the way of Bunyip to take the lead, Baz.
Big kick coming up. Set shot. Looks to be about 45 out, you might say. Maybe 47.
Distance might be the only issue. He's a left footer, and left footers have the tendency to strike it true. He's missed everything.
So out in the full, another missed opportunity by the Bulldogs. It's been a game full of those. As the pink ball went down into the car park. Mock. We taking the free kick.
Lovely initiatives all around the league. Last week we had at Nanagoon them wearing pink jerseys. Today the pink ball for breast cancer awareness, of course.
So Mock kicks it down the wing. Oh, what a grab! Oh, maybe it's not. Oh, almost looks like he marked it. Was Papley. But no, it was dropped out, and once again another ball up. Or sorry, I should say a throw in. Hadrick in the ruck. Played a little bit of volleyball, hit it behind him. Running backwards to go forwards here, the Bulldogs. Inside 50, Mock was there and stood tall. Leapt out. And Gawley has been great in the ruck for Kilcunda today. Is that a mark? It is.
Oh.
That was close.
Definitely played for the whistle there.
Paxton is showing a bit of attitude there. Made sure he kept the ball right in between his toes. Now off by hands. Paxton just hunts him down. That's got to be ball. Pay that every day of the week. Now they can move. A goal would take the lead, of course. But it almost seems as if Paxton's going to take it himself. He plays on. Tries to find anyone. Leaning out in front. Could be in the back. Play continues. West punches it out. Pink ball. Remains stuck to the field. Holding the ball. And that is unlucky if you're with Bunyip. Now Waitman plays on. Gawley. They're moving quick here, Kilcunda. They're looking dangerous. Derayo bounces it along the ground. My apologies if I pronounced the name wrong. Punched out by Bulldog. Now here comes Papley off half back. They're looking to attack. Marked nearly with one hand by, of course, Brendan Thompson with the helmets. Kicks inside 50. It's going to miss again. They've just been so disorganised entering inside 50, the Bulldogs, and they'd certainly be up a lot more if they were able to find more targets inside 50, but nonetheless, Eddie from full back kicks it, goes behind Mackenzie, try to chip it across the foot, but another turnover. Thuring was good early on. Kick just scrums across the ground. Here's Kinder, spins around, left. Should be a turnover, will be. Kilcunda. Defenders stood tall, Winmar. Just chucked it on the boot. A good mark taken, they can settle down now through a Panther. Now Gawley. Try to find Watts. And it was a good contest there. And it went over the boundary line. So we're now 13 and a half minutes into this third quarter. Kilcunda-Bass lead 4-9-33 to Bunyip's 4-4-28.
They are beleaguered at the moment, Kilcunda-Bass. And relentless pressure from the Bulldogs. Again, Galash attached to the Panthers' foot. Trying to exit with a kick, unable to do so. McLeod tapping it back in. Detached for a moment, ducking, weaving, navigating through traffic successfully and dictating play for the Bulldogs. Back into the main field of play near the centre, brought to ground, just taping it to each other. Not trying to claim the footy because the umpire has been holding the ball regularly, but they find a way out through Mackenzie and they can have a little bit of serenity for the moment. Nearly 14 and a half minutes in the third quarter. A 5-point lead for Killy-Bass. Across the wing, a party forms. Gibson nudged out of it a little too easily in the end. Confident kick. And movement again begins. Over the head of Murphy. Leaked out to a couple of Rovers who are waiting nearby. Thompson bypassing a few. Out to the wing, Mackenzie lunging. Couldn't quite reach it. And Bunyip to bring it back into play. All the attack and momentum with them at the moment. Party at half forward. And it was an inviting kick by Mock. Demanded a lot from his forwards. Couldn't quite do him a favour. Galash. Happy to concede some ground. A perilous kick. Quirk makes it work. Keith at the wing. Didn't take up on that offer. Instead, beginning negotiations through the centre. A high ball up the chimney. And Derayo again parked underneath it. Giving it off to Eddie. Blistering across the wing. Through the centre. Again, it's a little indiscriminate. The umpire even gets involved. Included in the play, Baxter, who kicked off the ground. and found Gibson. Wandering ball forward. It's cut off at centre half back. And the speed and the dash from the Bulldogs' defence. Able to get away. Gibson. It'll be Bunyip's free kick. Nathan Allen, who's back on the ground. At Helmore short. Goes a little longer to Galash. And now they all move back. Calling for it at the top of the square. His name written all over it was Paxton. Went over his head. In fact, it didn't reach him. Again, it's still loose. This could all unravel. If they just get it free, they need a goal to take the lead. And another whistle. Any observations, Baz? It's still a 5-point game, nearly 17 minutes in.
More pushing and shoving.
Yeah.
And I will get back to that shortly. Is Kilcunda-Bass quick to move out of the 50 again. Gawley, he's been terrific, hasn't he? Ball bouncing. Bulldogs read it better. Chips it. Mark won't be paid. It's got to be high, surely, and it will be. Kilcunda-Bass players trying to argue that he ducked. So now they're going to run a switch here. Papley screaming for it. Instead goes the longer option in O'Halloran, who plays on. Interesting looking drop, but it works in the end. Mark was almost dropped by Helmore. Now he holds up play a little bit. He's got Papley, who's his run is so good, such a daring player. Shrugs him off again. Look at the agility. Smacks it on the boots. He's got Grumish wide open. Mark won't be taken. Gawley, Eddie. Some of the better players for Kilcunda-Bass today. Standing strong. So ball up awfully close to that boundary line. Danger for Kilcunda-Bass. They need to axe though. The Bulldogs have been a bit disorganised in the forward line today. Ball will once again go under another pack for a stoppage. But even Kilcunda-Bass have adopted some of the Bulldogs' traits today. They've been a bit disorganised going inside 50 in this third term. Eddie off by hands and he'll just go out of bounds. But all the Bunyip Bulldogs need at the moment is just a bit of space. But this Kilcunda defence has been really good practically all day. So Gormley, Grumish, trying to crumb up anything. Ball was stuck. Goes backwards. Free kick going in the way of Bunyip. This is huge.
Here we go.
They can capitalise now here, the Bulldogs. They need to move quick. But play seems to hold up, so Grumish finds Dylan Galash. Almost in the exact same position as he scored that first, that quarter-time goal. He should be able to slot this through.
He knows this spot all too well.
He certainly does. This would give Bunyip the lead. How huge is this? About to enter time on in the third quarter. Galash. How vital this would be. Tough angle. Kicks it. Then it goes through. Dylan Galash.
For a behind.
Oh, it's gone through for behind. I heard some whistling. I heard some cheering, and I thought that's gone through. But no, the Bulldogs once again cannot capitalise on their opportunities. Gawley faked the handball, but now he's caught up in some red, white and blue. Mackenzie received the handball, kicks down the line. What a mark taken. Stood tall was Dario. Plays on. Kicks on the right. Finds a teammate in Gibson, who's been a bit quiet to start off this third quarter, and he's going to back himself in here. He's probably got the legs, you'd reckon.
Yeah, last time we called them against Daleston, he kicked a goal from 55 metres out after the siren.
He's played on here, and that should be pushing the back, needs to be, and it will. Papley can't believe it.
Sajai.
But it is Sajai, who has not played a bad game at all today. Looking to line it up and now make it a 2-goal game for his Kilcunda-Bass side. I know we mentioned that the Dylan Galash goal would be huge, but for the Panthers, this is equally as big. A lot of players down there at the goal line. Zajai lines it up. Papley on the mark. Runs off a little bit. And absolutely nowhere near it. No mark taken either, but it spills through. Can they snap it all? Here the Panthers, they're lurking, looking to pounce. Ball once again brought in. And a stoppage just in front of goal. So now Bunyip need to work equally as hard to ensure that a goal does not occur. Gibson in the ruck. It's not natural for him. Somehow spills out, and that's a mark taken. That is luck if you've ever seen it.
It's not who you want either to take the kick if you're Bunyip. Marcus Baxter, the number 37. If you've just joined us, number 36 was ripped.
He was Team of the Year in the Outer East Premier Division. He kicked 15 goals in a game once, this man. Baxter. Can he slot one through? Players look right above their head in disappointment for Bunyip as it goes through the middle. And our Kilcunda-Bass lead this by 11. That is a huge, huge goal. Oh, sorry, it was 10 points. My mistake, not 11, but Bunyip would be really kicking themselves after that one.
Can't be too long left if the last quarter was 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Just the one extra goal in this quarter. Bunyip off to the hot start with 2. Kilcunda-Bass able to reply as Gawley still hoping to put his imprint on the game. Inhibited in the tackle. Papley given the benefit of the doubt by the umpire. In the centre, another throw up or ball up. Gawley to the outer side this time. West. Seen a little bit of it in the second half. And a courageous grab. Slow to get up. He copped a big hit from Gibson. Courage personified. Out to the wing. A one-on-one. Standing tall. Kilcunda-Bass. Gawley somehow found a vacant channel to lead into. He goes laterally for Stuckey. He'll again play it wide for Clay, who will head centrally to centre half forward. Papley with the fly, and he enabled his teammates to benefit off of it. Out wide, Clay corralling Quirk, looping hand pass over the top back to himself. The kick again wide for Grumish, who has to get there first, and he does, but he's got Eddie right on his tail. Stays in play, and then he lays a nice tackle. Can't prevent them from escaping to the wing. DeRayo comfortably takes the mark.
Sorry, Dylan, and that's why the Bulldogs are down. What is that kick from Quirk? You need it was just a really poor attempt at Grumish, and I feel sorry for him after that one.
DeRayo to invent something. Can't. O'Halloran. He was loud off the bench before, just expressing his displeasure, and he turns it over right in the hands of Ethan Watts. Nearly 25 minutes in. Kilcunda-Bass lead it by 10. They'd love to have a late goal here. And he takes a brutal bump after he releases the kick. Nearly a mark in the end. It's still loose. Off the ground. Gibson! Off to the left. 5 goals, 10 for Kilcunda-Bass today.
And you can almost argue that if they were to kick a bit straighter, the Panthers, this game would not be as intense as it is at the moment.
Although Kilcunda-Bass with 2 out on the full set shots as well. Both sides have had opportunities and they haven't put them away. And for that reason, the game is still in the balance. Kilcunda-Bass lead Bunyip 5-10-40 to 4-5-29. 3 quarters down. We are set up for a brilliant last quarter. Some great football on display. Another short break, and then we will see how they can execute in this last term. 8th v 9th on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
The stage is set at Bunyip, where they trail it by 11 points, and although the scoring shots may seem to be in Kilcunda-Bass's favour, that third quarter was played on the Bulldogs' terms, Bailey Allen.
Yeah, especially during the start, they found two quick, easy goals. And I think was it Blakey? I think it was Jack Blakey.
Yep.
That was able to get them.
And Murphy as well, I believe.
Yeah, that they were able. Yeah, it was Taj Murphy actually. They were able to get them within a goal, and then they got a bit sloppy again. Dylan Quirk missed an opportunity to a teammates inside 50, and Kilcunda were able to strike back and get a goal of their own. But whoever gets the momentum early on might just win this game.
And the fans have all set in. The campfire is up here at Bunyip. They're all infatuated with this last quarter, waiting for the green lights. 11 points. The home team trail by. Here we go. Should be a tight last quarter. And to do it again, Gaulian hat-trick. And Foot immediately lays a brilliant tackle on Papley. But it's the Bulldogs who enter forward, holding up back. Eddie gave it off to his teammate West to the outer wing, searching and finding Watson. In fact, it's Cartmel out wide to the wing. Using his hands was Watts. And as a result, he's given away the free kick. Allen at right half back. Close to the centre as well. Eyes darting in every angle possible. And he tees up his teammates at the wing as we see a man down in the centre for Bunyip.
I think it's Papley.
Yep. Felt every bit of that pressure in the tackle. Signalling his teammates to swarm towards the footy, and they do. A big congregation. Strong fist at the back. Splatters out. And the Rovers can craft something here. Eddie pushed out of it. Out to the path of Gallish, who will kick the opener. And he salutes. It's a 5-point game at Bunyip. And he's kicked 2 for the day.
You've got to love that. Dylan Galash gets up and around the Bunyip crowd at home. And he has been pivotal in this Bulldogs game today. Maybe a key part of a Bulldogs win, as they're now only down by 5 points. Papley, he's going to come off through the interchange. He's going to take off. He's going to come off for Brendan Thompson.
We'll just apologise quickly for the counter on our screen. Did press play, but it's a minute and a half behind. We're 2 minutes in at Bunyip, and it says 30 seconds on the scoreboard. But nonetheless, it's a 5-point game.
So ball thrown up. Bulldogs looking to move quick. Kilcunda pick up the ball after a tackle though. Who's going to get it? Gibson almost had a piece of it. Kinder collected. Look at the Bulldogs, just more intense. Running for it. It was a lazy kick off the ground though. Spins across. Dario might be holding the ball. No, Kinder, got to be insufficient attempt. You've got to pay it. And I think it has been, and it is. So, Kilcunda-Bass can capitalise here. Dario almost looks to play on. Eventually does. Gibson! Too easy. Takes a mark. Now, he can go up. Petch just wasn't strong enough. And just like that, after Glash kicks a huge goal early into the fourth quarter. Now Gibson can do the exact same on the opposite end. Taylor Gibson. Tough angle. Lines it up. That's coming back! Went right and went all the way back. Taylor Gibson. My goodness. What a game of footy.
It is difficult to diminish his impact. 3 goals today, and they've only kicked 6 as a team. A couple of behinds, but the opportunities are always there. And he puts that margin again to 11. And now it's Bunyip's turn.
So, ball up in the centre square. It's Hadrick in the ruck, going against Gawley. Ball goes to ground. It's collected by a Bulldog. Snaps across the body. Here's Thompson. Didn't get out in front, however. Dario, he's been good in this fourth quarter. Over the head handball. Now evades is West. Couldn't hit his player on the chest, but Mackenzie. Oh, what a smother by Hadrick. Great defensive efforts. Handballs. Then air out. Allen, they've got the middle wide open. They just need to choose the right options here. Going inside 50. No mark taken. And that is unlucky. Gawley was just able to swoop in. And now he's kicked it across to a teammate in Rosario. Touches the ground. Looking for Gibson. Kick was really poor, however. Still able to keep himself on his feet, though. Looks to centre it wide open. Oh, what a great run from Kinder. Now he goes into space. Thompson plays on, needs to look out. Inside 50, 1v1. Who will win? Eddie beats Paxton.
Oh, the kick extremely wide for Gawley. He does well. He forced the issue onto Thuring. And a boundary throw in at half forward. 5.5 minutes into the last quarter. It's an 11-point game, and Kilcunda-Bass are doing everything they need to do at the moment. After conceding that early goal, they've kicked one, and their defence has prospered, and they'll have to do it one more time here again. Paxton with strength! Out Jules Eddie. And he'll go back to reduce the margin again to 5.
This is going to be a pivotal key matchup in this fourth quarter. We've already seen the ball go near them twice.
This goal, critical. It's early in the last. But they need every goal they can get. And Aaron Paxton puts another on the board. Five points the margin. And there's already been 3 goals kicked in 6.5 minutes.
There is so much fight and hunger. Kilcunda just looking to get some more points. Their season is unfortunately probably done as final seems a bit out of reach. But as for Bunyip, they need a lot to go right, but they need to win today. It is absolutely pivotal. Hadrick in the ruck. Wins the hit out. Spills out in the middle. Now they're going again, the Bulldogs. Enters inside 50. Can anyone get to it first? Here's Galash. Almost got to it. tries to claim the case. The Bunyip Bulldogs
Holding the ball.
Holding the ball!
Oh, I thought he'd call it. It
Oh.
looked like he was going to call it.
He did hold his arms up. It certainly looked like it, but no. So Gawley in the ruck against Hadrick gets that hit out. It was a beautiful hit out, actually. Oh, knocked across. Oh, you can't pay that. That's just good footy. Unfortunate there for the Bulldogs. So Cartmel kicks it across. Gawley runs. Then kicks. Inside 50. They just wait here. Gibson with the footy.
He's having a shot here.
That's a fair distance. That's what? 50. Yeah, 50 or more out. So Gibson will take his 30 seconds to line it up. Can you imagine how silent... Oh, never mind. He's played on, but that is just poor defence. Wide open was Rosario. And now it's a similar angle, but far closer. Distracted Bunyip so much that he thought, thinking into... he was going to take the set shot and found an option in Rosario. He now runs back. That's not a bad-looking kick, actually. Will it make the distance? No, just touched over the boundary line. Unfortunate if you're a Panthers fan. The margin is now increased out to 6, so a goal would tie it up. Thurring was out the back, but West was there as well. Handballs into space. Players running, desperate to score any goal. Thurring, great work effort there. But Clay was just in front. He now kicks it across. Wide open is Gawley.
Could be within range here.
He's got a B kick. He's awfully athletic. He's Gawley. The big ruckman hits it. Interesting looking kick. No mark taken. Punched over the boundary line. No score.
That is great work by the defence not to concede a behind. It's already a 6-point game. And there's plenty of time to score, obviously. But when he gets to that 7-point margin late in the quarter, definitely difficult to overcome. Harrowing looks on all the fans' faces. And you can just imagine the outroar if they were to kick another goal. Nearly 10 minutes in to this last quarter. It has been an arm wrestle all day. A 6-point game. It's Kilcunda-Bass leading it at the moment. Head first. Around the pack, hampered. Allen. And another ball up. Or a throw in. Or the umpire's paid. Nothing there. He held his arm up for a moment. So, entering the pack optimistically. McKenzie escaped with a handball off to his teammates. Would have been unbelievable goal. And again, they tap it out. 10.5 minutes through. It is currently sitting deep in the Panthers' attack as William Papley looks to be coming back on. Did receive some treatment earlier. Strong set of knuckles out of the ruck. And a sling tackle. And in despair, William Speed holds his arms up and says, how can you pay that?
It's got to be 50 metres.
Reluctant to give the ball up. And it is 50 metres.
How could it not be?
He had chance after chance. And now one unveils itself, sprinting through the middle, looking adventurous to half forward, just out of the grasp. But they chain up the hands, and an open shot at goal is pounced on. Scores a level at Bunyip. We're set up for a grand finish. 47 apiece. 11.5 minutes in.
Oh, if you killed Kunda, well, you're just kicking yourself there, aren't you? You just should have given up the ball. That 50... I couldn't actually see who gave up the 50 in the end, but it came a direct result of that goal by Ashley Allen. Ran straight through the middle and is now tied up here at Bunyip. 12 minutes through this final quarter, and what a contest we've had today. in my opinion, game of the year, at least from what I've seen. Tapped out, Papley, always trying harder than his opposition. Quickly wrapped up for a ball up. So absolute drama here. There's been tension all day between the players. A lot of argy-bargy. Gawley wins the hit out. Thuring just trying to power his way through. Sorry, it wasn't Thuring. I think I might have...
Slow to get up.
Yeah, just trying to see the number.
Nearly 13 minutes in. A tied game. And a draw would be disappointing for all the fans here who are trying to get their side over the line. Gawley spontaneously. A kick out of defence. Didn't get very far. And maybe in the back. Grenes lying on the bottom. But a ball up at right half forward.
So ball up. Kilcunda getting closer and closer to that goal. Scores becoming really necessary now, more than ever in this great contest. Could have been pushing the back. Winmar didn't have enough time to dispose of it effectively. Off with a bit of a soccer kick was Quirk. Players just running for the ball, sprinting, spills out. The Bulldogs, they can get out here. Gives it off by hands to Allen, who kicks it. Here's Paxton leading. Now turns around. Eddie on him. Great tackle. Wasn't quite enough. They're holding the ball. Winmar hunted him down. Pounces. Winmar. I am out of breath. 15 metres should have cleared the area, and Thompson, that is silly. So now Winmar has the opportunity to run some quick moving footy down this ground and try and get a contested mark. So Gawley, I should say, receives the hands, big long kick, any mark would be necessary. Gibson. Oh no, sorry, it was a Bulldog. Keith took it instead.
In the back line, plays it wide for Quirk. Has a short man on in O'Halloran. And now we're nearing closer to time on. 15 minutes through this last quarter, still plenty of time. Galash at the wing as Grumish just waiting to get on. To the wing again. A nest of players begin to form. Watson did extremely well. Intelligent hand pass over the top and then hacked off the deck to half forward. Gibson slipped to ground, had his opponent in the rearview mirror, and it is judged as holding the ball.
That's really unlucky if you're Gibson. He slid to the ground. I mean, fair enough that he didn't get rid of the ball, but really unlucky there.
A little unsavoury. And another free kick has been given. Downfield to Bunyip. 15 and a half through this last quarter. Quirk with time, with space, with a man in sight. Obstructed. Galash fell to ground. Papley trying to extract it. Galash again head first, but he was constrained. He was handcuffed in the tackle. And 16 minutes through this last quarter, scores are tied. We are deep in Bunyip's attack.
So just getting ever so close to Bunyip's goal. Galash gets it, crumbs it. That's not going to go far enough.
Any score would have given them the lead.
That could have been huge. Galash has had a big day out. He's such an important forward in this side. Clay instructs his teammates to move. Lurking. Oh, Grumish nearly took a mark. Papley gets it and he's brought to the deck immediately. Umpire calls my ball.
It deserves a close finish. It's been an outstanding game all day.
Game of the year, I'd say, quite easily. So Gawley just let the ball fall into his chest. Kinder gets through on the left. Is that going to be out of bounds on the full? Not quite. No mark paid. Allen tackles him. They want ball. They're going to pay it. Nathan Allen is now on the boundary. Played 7 games for The Casey Scorpions in the VFL across 2 years. Kicks it. Mark taken. The Doggies fans erupt. So now directly in front on a set shot to take the lead. Daniel Helmore won a flag in 2018 with Garfield, now with Bunyip to take the lead. This is huge. He hits it! And the Doggies back! Helmore! Such drama out here at Bunyip on a Saturday afternoon, sun setting across the hills of Bunyip. And where would you rather be?
2 minutes away from time on, and the home side have taken the lead. They trailed by 11 at three-quarter time. They've kicked 3 goals. In fact, make it 4 goals to 1 in this last quarter. And now there has to be some urgency attached to Kilcunda. Goalie knocks it forward. Foot in the pack. McKenzie had it stripped. West still climbing forward. It remains ajar, and it's an illegal tackle.
Played a lot of those today, haven't they?
Quite a few. And Nathan Foot. Not many players behind the ball, rather in front of the ball. Everyone packed in the defence. And the attack for Kilcunda. Foot sticks the slipper into it. Needs a mark. And again, Jai Keith with his second mark of the quarter. None bigger than this one.
Certainly had some fourth quarter heroics, hasn't he, Keith?
19 minutes into this last quarter. Bunyip by 6. Across the back line. They'll happily let time evaporate. Kinder at half-back. He didn't want to. He relished the space in front of him. And a big lead from Paxton. But an even better spoil from Eddie. Out of bounds.
Terrific defence. Eddie in the second half has been great.
Nearly 20 minutes in. And that's when every fan begins to be a little tense, nervous. Goalie taking it out of the ruck, collecting it himself. An underground hand pass, steamrolling through the Bunyip players who are wrestled, brought to ground, holding the ball. And McKenzie off to Foot, into time on now. No one knows how long is left. But Foot knows that they just have to attack, and they do. Another mark up forward. Watts. Too far out to score. Heads over to McKenzie. Plenty of movement up forward. Leads left, right, and centre. Into the lanes he goes. It's near the pockets. And a free kick is being pinned out.
Who's who?
And it'll go the way of Taylor Gibson. 21 minutes in. Taylor Gibson has kicked 3 goals today. He kicked 9 last time they played them. He is the devil's advocate. The villain of all villains against Bunyip in the past. To bring it back to a deadlock.
Missed.
And he's missed. And now the door remains open. It's a handy point. 21 and a half minutes in.
So 5 points the difference now. Here's Allen from fullback. Kicked it to Daniel Helmore on that set shot that gave Bunyip the lead. Kicks down to the wing. May remain in play. In fact, it does. Galash, always near the footy. Brings it to ground. It's spilled out. Holding the ball in the way of Bunyip. So Galash gets an opportunity And surely if you're the Bulldogs, now into time on, you're just looking to play that slow kick-to-kick footy, but he goes a bit more of a daring option, kicks it down the line, ball remains in play, before eventually rolling over the boundary line. And this is a big couple minutes coming up for Kilcunda-Bass and Bunyip respectively. Bunyip trying to keep on this hold to their finals hopes. Kilcunda trying to get some confidence going into next season in a close one. My ball, says the umpire. 8:5:53, play 6:12:48 down here at Bunyip. 4:15 on a Saturday afternoon at West Gippsland Football League footy. Ball will once again roll over.
Someone has to stand up for Kilcunda. 23 minutes. It's been Gawley who's accumulated plenty of possessions. He needs an acquaintance alongside him, Crawford. And it's going the way of the Panthers. On the wing they sit. And it is that man, Dale Gawley, who will send them spiralling into attack. Rayo attacks it full-chested. Mackenzie will pass by, but instead he'll put it into the 50 over the head of Gibson. It still sits on its end, and suddenly a gaping hole open for Gibson, who spins on the left and just misses. Another behind.
Taylor Gibson has now missed 2 perfect opportunities. That is just really unfortunate. Out from full back, Bunyip trying desperately to hold on. 4 points the difference. O'Halloran trying to keep it in play. Did it stay in? Apparently it did, but nonetheless goes over the boundary line.
24 minutes, Baz.
This has been game of the year easily, especially if we're talking match of the rounds, presented by Fairhaven Homes. Ball tapped. It's going to go to the ground, and it does after a tackle by Dale Crawford. And you've got to be careful with your pushing and shoving here. You do not want to risk any 50-metre penalty being paid. In fact, that's the reason why Bunyip are up at the moment. Shoved out. Gawley tried to snap it. Papley smothered. Terrific. We're now 24 and a half minutes inside this fourth quarter. A stoppage inside of the 50 of Kilcunda-Bass. Here's Gawley in the ruck going against Hadrick. Gawley is by far been the better ruckman. Hadrick won on this occasion though. Siren set to go at any minute. Hadrick, that's got to be holding the ball. Is he going to pay it? He will. So now the ball lies with Garnis. He plays on, kicks into a pack. Mark taken. Gibson. So now he can go.
He's going a fair bit off his line here.
He is. He can now go for his 3rd opportunity at goal. This could be a kick after the siren. We have no idea how much time is left. Taylor Gibson. To make it count. He's got to do it. Will he? He hits it. Get around him. Panthers hit the front. Nearly 26 minutes in, and Gibson kicks the clutchest of goals.
Cannot be long left.
And
the home fans are left in despair. 26 minutes through this last quarter.
And his teammates and Travis Stuckey and Will Speed doing the ice in the veins.
On the bench they are. There's still hope for Bunyip. And desperate times come with desperate measures. No margin for error. We say it every time there's a close game, but one last roll of the dice for Bunyip. Out of the pack they go. Rayo, it just went past him, and now the opportunity reveals itself. They need a mark, and they get it! The mark has been made, and it was controversial because they're playing for it to be touched. We don't know how long is left.
It's Helmore again.
Daniel Helmore. There can't be long left. Bunyip trail by 2. The fans stare on. This will give them the lead, and you'd think the win. Everyone's staring at Daniel Helmore because he's the man of the moment.
Oh my God!
Bunyip have the lead over 27 minutes in, and he will be the name of the town tonight.
Daniel Helmore, take a bow. One of the clutchest performances we've seen in recent memory.
Swinging from left to right. And the fans are breaking the scales at the moment.
There wouldn't be a lot of time left. I would say, dare I say, less than a minute. It is now just 4 points. Bunyip lead in a dramatic fourth quarter. Game of the year. Easily. Ball up. Siren set to go soon. Gawley smacks it off the boots. A mark is needed. Oh, he's taken it. Stands strong in defence. It was Allen. Ashley Allen. He may have just saved the game for the Bulldogs. Leo Barry almost. Kicks it. Out on the wing now. Cannot be much time left. Time is ticking. They're just going to time waste here, the Bulldogs, as they should. So kicks it. No mark taken, but they're still out, the Bulldogs. They might have it here. Helmore running back. Almost marked it. Saw is set to go. Kilcunda have it. Running. Trying to pick up the ball. Galash getting awfully close. Gawley kicks it. Gibson almost right over the top. And we'll have a boundary. Oh, it's a free kick paid in the way of Bunyip. That's huge. Gibson went high.
And they'll slow it down. They have snatched this from the jaws of defeat. He gives it an almighty spiral. It's juggled around in the air. No time to waste. And now they progress past this barricade that has been built for Bunyip. Another free kick. It'll go the way of Kilcunda, so they're not done yet. And it's the one man who does have the distance. Taylor Gibson. The siren has sounded.
Oh no!
What drama at Bunyip Recreation Reserve. 55 metres out. They trail it by 4.
Listen to the car sirens.
The writing is on the wall. A goal wins it for Taylor Gibson. And Kilcunda-Bass have led it all day. It's been an almighty fight back by this Bunyip side. From 50 out, it's on its way! It's short! And the Bulldogs, with an almighty escape. It's one that they'll remember forever. Put it in the books.
What a game of footy! I reckon people from Cairns would be watching that. What a finish! Drama all day. And Bunyip, the Bulldogs, bark on into the night. A come-from-behind win, and they win by 4 points. 9-5-59 beats Kilcunda-Bass's 7-13-55 in what has been match of not only the round, but match of the year. Boy! I'm speechless still. That is,
I'm just
wow.
taking a moment to regroup myself. What a game of football. This is why it is the game that everyone should love and recognise. So many different scenarios that can occur. We said it before the game. We didn't expect it to be this close.
I think it's fair to say this game was certainly better than the Resi's ones before. I think it was a 120 or something point loss for Kilcunda, and then the next game after in the seniors, a 4-point game, and Kilcunda-Bass lose after the siren.
In a moment, We will head to our post-game show, but we will just let you watch the pictures at the moment. Bunyip up and about, and for one team's heaven, it's another team's hell. Kilcunda-Bass, 7 goals, 13, and we mentioned inaccuracy, and it certainly harmed them today.
Yeah, well, those 13 behinds, not many of them were rushed, if my memory serves me correct, so, yeah, you'd be certainly going back to the goals and working on your set shots after a game like that, because there were multiple times during this game they could have sealed it, and we saw it with Gibson. He gave him the lead back late in that fourth quarter, but just wasn't able to capitalise on his opportunities before. And ultimately, there were a number of factors, but those misses in the end were a big factor. So,
Post-game show coming up shortly. Scenes upon scenes upon scenes at Bunyip Recreation Reserve, where we were sent on an undulating wave of emotion. Bunyip led it early, Kilcunda-Bass surged forward, and at three-quarter time they led it by 11 points. And Bunyip with 5 goals in the last quarter, and the sealer, in fact the winner, kicked by Daniel Helmore. And you can hear the song, or you probably won't be able to hear the song, but they are singing it as loud as they can. Into the post-game show we go, sponsored by Fused by King G. And I'm eager to hear Bailey Allen's thoughts.
still utterly speechless. What an absolute contest we've seen here today. 8th versus 9th, and Bunyip get their 7th win of the year. At the end of the day, I did criticise Bunyip a lot for not being able to enter inside 50 efficiently, but it was Kilcunda-Bass's inefficiency that costed them in the end. And at the end of the at the end of the day, Bunyip just stood tall and they were willing to take more risks, whilst Kilcunda-Bass didn't really show a lot of dare during that last quarter, whilst Bunyip were continued to take the risk and go through the middle a lot. And of course that 50, I still wasn't sure who gave that away, but you, in a game like that, you can't be standing over the ball and refusing to give it.
Fearless they were, the Bunyip side. And into our Fused by King G mark of the day. A few selections, I think not as many as the goal of the day, Baz. Who will you select?
Mark of the day, I'll go with Taylor Gibson, who, as we know, missed that shot after the siren, but Taylor Gibson, he took a contested mark early on in the second. He had 2 players on him. He just stood right under the ball. He was dragged and pushed by his other opponents, and he just stood really tall and strong and took a nice chest mark, and that was probably my choice for today.
I think rightfully so. I'll go with Daniel Helmore because, yes, he executed the kick, but that mark, probably the underrated part of that little passage there. And even better, the goal. I'm jumping straight to it. Our King G Trade Comfort Max goal of the day. For me, Daniel Helmore.
Yeah, it's got to be Daniel Helmore, does it? If we're talking in terms of what was the most impressive one, you'd probably go Dylan Galash at quarter time. That tough angle down here on the right side of the field. It was a really tough angle after the siren, and he kicked it. But yeah, Daniel Helmore, to win the game, you've got to go that one.
And now to the votes. It's definitely going to be a very contested 3 votes up for grabs. I'll go first with the one vote, and I'll say Dale Gawley for me will receive the 1 vote. Definitely could have had the 2 or even the 3.
I haven't had a lot of time to think about this, actually. I've been trying to take in the game so much that I'm a bit disorganised with my votes. But for 1 vote, yeah, Gawley would probably take it for me.
2 votes, Baz?
2 votes, I would go Taylor Gibson. Although he did, in the end, he did miss that shot after the siren to win the game. He was huge all day, and the reason this game was so close, he was a trouble for Bunyip all game. He was always down there as a key forward and was always looking to create chaos.
Yep, I will agree with you. And who is the man of the match today?
Helmore was big in the 4th quarter, but probably wasn't just busy enough there in the final or the first 3 terms. But there's a really tough choice here. I'm gonna have to go with Papley. Papley was the reason why so many of those plays and so many of those goals happened in the first place, because he's run down the field. He's so electric. That is why he's one of the most entertaining players to watch in this competition, because he's run throughout the middle, created so many opportunities for Bunyip. Even though maybe on some of them they missed the mark just a little bit, his agility and his strength to shrug tacklers off with ease is probably the reason for me why they got up.
Can we rework the votes here? I think I might have to reconsider mine. Is that all right?
Yeah, we'll go with it.
We'll say the 1 vote for me. I think I have to say Daniel Helmore.
Yeah,
I know he didn't do too much all day, but when it was most needed, a clutch goal, and he did other things in that last quarter as well. 2 votes, I'll go with Taylor Gibson. I'll remain the same. But 3 votes, I will go with Dale Gawley. He's too hard to pass by. If we had stats, I'd say 30, 35 disposals, plenty of clearances, hit-outs. He's just versatile and he can do anything.
Well, if Kilcunda-Bass had won this game, we would have been remembering this as one of the performances for the ages, and we would have been discussing why. That's why Kilcunda-Bass got up, because he just dominated Hadrick in the ruck all day. But unfortunately, that's not how the result went, and yeah, his performance could be overlooked. But yeah, no, I'm not going to disagree with you on that at all. I've just gone the 1 vote because they lost, but yeah, yeah, he played a great game today, Gawley.
Well, we hope you have enjoyed today. I know we certainly did. Bunyip are the winners today, 8th v 9th, and they do stay in touch if Coralin did fall short, and we'll get some around-the-ground scores for you in a moment. But any final words, Baz?
Not really, just still in a quite amount of shock. I've got to try preserve my voice now. I've got to go commentate some basketball down in Somerville. But yeah, it's going to be hard to try top that for commentary. That's one of the best games of any sport I've called in a very long time.
Remarkably, the only game that I can really update us on, Warragul Industrials are defeating Cooey-Rupp by 2 points. Now, earlier on, Cooey-Rupp were up by 25 to 30 points. And the Dusties.
Well, that's...
Thrillers everywhere.
It's once again huge for Bunyip. If Cooey-Rupp had to go down to the Dusties, then Cooey-Rupp would fall down, wouldn't they? If Bunyip wins...
Exactly right.
With the Bunyip win today. So you'd be watching... If that was the match that was streamed, you'd be watching that with intent if you're a Bunyip fan.
We'll be at Garfield next week as they take on Daleston. And it could also be a close game. On paper, it certainly shapes up to be. Probably not as close and exciting as this game. What a performance it was by both sides. Really, if we could, we'd split the points between them, because Kilcunda-Bass, they deserve at least recognition. Led it almost all day. Bunyip in the first few minutes and in the last few minutes took it and preserved it. But we hope you enjoyed today. Daniel Halmore, the unsung hero from the Bunyip Bulldogs, as they win. It's 9-5, 59 to 7-13, 55.